Hello everyone. We will discuss about Sri Lankan news. Go for it. Protests erupt again in Lanka as five die in violent clashes. So further do it. Thousand storm Mahindra Rajapakse's official residence and the ex-PM had to be rescued in a pre-dawn op. To go for it. Fresh protests erupted in Sri Lanka's capital Colombo on Tuesday, defying a government curfew after five people died in the worst violence in weeks of demonstrations over a dire economic crisis. Demonstrators showed on sign they could black down even after scores were injured when government supporters were buzzed into Colombo on Monday and attacked protesters with sticks and clubs. At outrage over the incident, sworded Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapakse resigned, but even that the failed to claim. Public anger with his brother Gotabaya is still present with widespread powers and command over the security forces. Thousands of anger protesters stormed Mahindra official residence overnight and the former premier had to be rescued in a pre-dawn military operation on Tuesday, freeing tear gas and warning shots. At least 10 petrol bombs were thrown into the compound, a top security official told AFP. Speaking to AFP, protesters claim Polvetage said more people are coming to the demonstrations site after the emergency and curfews. People are angry about the attack launched against us yesterday. Despite the curfew since yesterday afternoon, we have a lot of volunteers bringing food and water for us. The 25-year-old said we will not go until the president goes, he added. The Rajapaksa clan's hold on power has been shaken by months of blackout and storage in Sri Lanka, the worst economic crisis since it became independent in 1948. Okay, but Monday's attacks on the protest represented a turning point after weeks of peaceful demonstrations. We were hit, the media were hit, women and children were hit. One witness told AFP asking not to be named. On Monday, police fired tear gas and water cannon of dispersed crowd and declared an immediate curfew in Colombo, a measure late widened to include the entire South Asian nations of 22 million people. Authorities said the curfew will be lifted Wednesday morning with government and private officers as well as shops and stores ordered to remain shut on Tuesday. Police and the local human rights commissions said they have started separate investigation okay, into Monday violence, arrest those responsible for instigating violence irrespective of their political standing. Police Chief Chandana Vikramatani said in and order. The United Nations condemned. The United Nations condemned the escalating violence, with Human Rights Chief Michelle Bachelet calling on the authorities to prevent further unrest. I am deeply troubled by the escalations of violence in Sri Lanka after supporters of the Prime Minister attacked peaceful protesters in Colombo yesterday, May 9, and the subsequent mob, mob violence against members of the ruling party, Bachelet said in the statement on Tuesday. Despite the curfew, there were flare-ups on violence in Colombo and around the country against both protesters and government supporters. Angry crowds set alight the homes of at least 41 pro-Rajapaksa politicians along with some vehicles, while buses and trucks used by the government. Loyalists were also triggered. Several Rajapaksa homes were torched in different parts of the country, while a family museum in their ancestral village was trashed, including life-size was figure of the parents. Outside Colombo, ruling party lawmaker Amar Karti Athukorala shot two people, killing 27-year-old man after being surrounded by crowd of anti-government protests. Police said he then took his own life with his revolver. A police official told AFP by phone. Athukorala bodyguard was also found dead at the scene. Police said author ruling party politicians who was not named opened fire on protesters, killing two and wounding five in the south. Police added. Doctors at the main Colombo National Hospital interviewed to rescue wounded government supporters, with soldiers breaking open locked gates to ferry in the wounded. They may be murderers, but for us they are patients who must be treated first. A doctor shouted at a mob blocking in the entrance to the emergency unit in another sign of rapidly deteriorating security. Vigilant groups blocked on Tuesday the main road to Colombo's airport and stopped all traffic to check for all Rajapaksa loyalists trying to leave the island. Witness said, despite the attacks on his resident, Mahindra Rajapaksa's son Nemal told AFP that his father would not flee, describing the surge of national anger against his family as a bad patch. The 76-year-old said as he was resigning to pave the way of a unity government, but it was unclear if the oppositions would join any administration with Gotabaya still president. Under Sri Lanka political system, even with a new unity government, the president will have the power to appoint and fire ministers well as judges and enjoy immunity from prosecution. Opposition parties said Tuesday they called off unity talks with the government after the outbreak of violence, but political sources said attempts were underway to arrange an online meeting between the president and all political parties. The main opposition, SJB, said they were still considering their options unless President Rajapaksa stepped down. No one, whether the masses in the streets or key political stakeholders, will be appeased. Analyst Michael Kugelman from the Wilson Central told AFP. The protests came after the coronavirus pandemic hammered the Iceland vital income from tourism and remittance, which starved the country of foreign currency needed to pay off its debt.